Okay. Simen Tzadik Vav, Shivas Nefesh. Amar Rabbi Seder Zal, Va'idali, Eidim Ne'emanim, Es Uriah V'Schaya. I will, our Savior said, I will bring witnesses to bear testimony for me, faithful witnesses, Uriah and Schaya. Uriah, Simen, Schaya. Uriah is a Simen for Schaya. Who's Uriah and who's Zechariah? So Uriah, we'll see right now, may as well, this is right, what Rav says, instead of giving it outside. Uriah said the Churban basically is going to be destroyed. So his Nevuah, well listen, that happened. That happened. Okay, this guy in Zechariah says Zechariah says it's going to be rebuilt. It's going to be a Gula, we're going to have a rebuilding, an ultimate rebuilding. So what happens? Every person says, oh, you tell me that I'm destroying, everything's going to be worse, it's going to get bad, it's going to be Yuridis. I believe you, not a problem. Very easy, you're right. I see that, yes, definitely. Tell me it's going to be good, it's going to be Tikkunim? Oh, come on. You're working on me, you got to be kidding. Why? So Nachman says every person naturally is drawn after, we're all drawn after we have an atiyah to Atzvos. We have an atiyah. Huh? Yeah, we're sort of from off. We're sort of off. Yeah, so every person has this. He believes. I'm willing to believe, and I'm no good. That I can believe easy. That I'm good. That it's very hard. The person has to work on it. It's not so easy to be more positive, less positive. It's not so easy to figure this out. This is very, very difficult, and it's hard to build. And I like to quote Richard Ginsburg. Actually, he's a very big person in Chabad Chassidus. I have this special mazel when I open Sfarim, I see Rabbi Nachman. I don't know why or how, but that's the way it works. If there's something there, somehow, very often, I get it. So I opened one book he has on psychology, Chassidic psychology, Kabbalah, I don't know what exactly. I opened it up. The page said this wonderful dibur, which I have not read the book, so I can't tell you. I bought it. My wife wanted it, and I picked it up, but I don't know what's in there. I'm sure it's great as always. But this dibur is 100% true. I guarantee you. He says the Olam says that there's three types of Sfarim. You have the Kutum Moran is a sefer for Rishonim, for the wicked people. That's their sefer. And you have Tanya, the Baal Tanya says that sefer Beinanim, and the name of the Melech is sefer Tzadikim. Always talking about the Tzaddik, the Tzaddik, the Tzaddik. So he says, this means. He touches it. So what does this mean? Sefer Rishonim. What does that mean? It means if you know Russian, you throw the book at him. Like, what does it mean? What do you do with it? What does it mean, Sefer Rishonim? So if he said it means that every person needs to have a minimal amount of chizuk. You have to have a certain amount of chizuk. That's the foundation of any spiritual growth. So if I don't have that chizuk, I'm not going to get anywhere. So first, go to your Nachman, learn the chizuk. Then you can move on to the Tanya, and you can move on to other Sfarim. And then I guess eventually, theoretically, I guess. But actually, that's what he says. And that's 100% true. If a person doesn't have that, he's going to, you can learn about being a Beinoni. Yeah, maybe you'll one day be a real Beinoni. And the guy's going to be like, he's going to be so depressed. He's saying, oh my goodness, I thought, I was trying to be positive today, and I just lost absolute any drop of desire to do anything because I feel like I'll never get anywhere. So first he has to know everything you do is precious, everything you do is from Hashem. And that's really right now he gives us tools that no one else can give. I heard also the same of Meir Zurberg. He also have a Talmud of Yaakov Meir Shechter, and he's learned a lot of beautiful Sfarim. I don't know if he calls him a Bresler by any means, but he also said if a person needs Rabbi Nachman, you're not allowed to stare. You're not allowed to get in the way, because you can't replace it with anything else. You can't say, I'll learn Mishra Shem. It's not going to work for Mishra Shem. He needs Rabbi Nachman. Mishra Shem is not going to do it for him. He needs Rabbi Nachman. Then go on to Mishra Shem. Yeah, why not? Of course. Rabbi Nachman, for a certain period, he said, learn Mishra Shem, then come back to me. Mishra Shem is a beautiful sefer, incredible sefer. But that doesn't mean that a person who, anytime he learns about the littlest amount of musar and how much it brings home, how far away he is from completion, so he falls to depression. That doesn't mean he should be learning this farm right now. He needs to get first to realize that every little thing is important, everything I do is important. He has to get this understanding. So that's something which Rabbi Nachman offers in the Torah, but she was nefesh of this idea of getting the chizuk. So she says, so you have to know, just like Chazal said, or here's the simple Zechariah. Zechariah is going to be Gula. There's going to be a big base of It's the same thing with a person in his own particular life, in his own life. Every person individually also has to know that even if things fail, even if there was a destruction, who knows what, there's going to be a rebuilding also. So as long as he holds on, as long as he tries, he's going to get there in the end. Every Jew, he wants to Gula, he wants to be stuck, he wants to rectify himself. It's not so easy. He says, oh my goodness, look how far I've fallen, look what I've done. How am I going to fix this? I can't possibly fix this. שזה בחינת בניין בית המקדש בפרט. You know? Like I just said a second ago, so this is taken up a bit of like the Gemara says in Brachas, anyone has das, called me Sheish Badas, anyone has das, anyone has understanding, as if the Beis was built in his days. So like I just said a second ago, he says the person he's like, a person by his very nature he believes in destruction. That I ruined everything, that's easy. That I can fix everything, that what I do is important, that's very hard. It's hard for a person naturally to get that. It's hard. Sadly, sometimes a person he has this, it's important, and he's dafkas, he's specifically the guy who doesn't have the strong, he doesn't have that much, he has what he has, he's able to see it, he's more balanced, he doesn't have the ruchs are inside in the same way. The Tzaddik explains, I think the Russell also says, Yosef Das says, Macho, the person has more understanding, has more pain. The person needs makes it harder for him because he's stronger. It's harder, stronger, the more understanding we have. But that means the more potential we have, the harder it is. This type also brings us down, actually. This context. So when you have incredible, like Russell said, you have tremendous barriers, you have to know, wow, I have incredible potential. Not like the other guy said, well, he's sitting and learning, it's easy for him. He's part of, compared to me. He's part of, he'll do whatever he's going to do, but it's not the same thing. A person, or the guy's killing himself, we can't tell, we have no idea, we don't know if the guy killed himself, because we have to know that when there's a ruach sa'ar going on, there's a wind, there's a storm going on, so you have power. So you just have to generate power. You have a nuclear power plant, it could be also making incredible destruction. You have a battery power and a flashlight. It's not so bad. Not a nuclear power, but they can't do too much either. You can take up my flashlight. Hey, hold it. What are you do? Shine it on me. You have a nuclear power. Like, hey, wait a minute. It's not so simple. Even if you can make damage with it, it's not the same as the power of as a cutter. If a cutter has to be channeled properly, that's our job. So when a person has incredible power and koach, specifically, he has the hardest time believing. It's very hard for him to believe, you can do a lot of good things. You have incredible call, you have incredible power to do amazing things. It's hard for him to see that. So, the Churban Yard broke the lot, destroyed a lot. Yes, that I did. Definitely, you can believe that. Easy, no problem. It's very, very easy. He sees how bad he was, how far away he fell, he gets very weak and he feels very discouraged. The person feels like, listen, it's over. This is hopeless. This situation we call hopeless. Sometimes it's hopeless. My father, he likes to quote the Secret Service in Bangladesh, I think it is, some African place. I don't know. He liked this question to determine if a person is worthy of being part of the Secret Service. He said they ask the person, what happens if you're, he's supposed to be a very great problem solver. So what happens if you're bitten by a poisonous snake? So the right answer is you die. That's the right answer. If you don't know the answer, you're out. Come on. If you can't be real, you know that realistic, this is where you are. So you're not holding by being part of the Secret Service. I think he said it, I don't remember, maybe somewhere else, I don't know. Anyway, but it was an outlandish place. I honestly don't remember. But anyway, this is the people think listen, you're bitten by the snake. Finished. It's over. Hopeless. This is it. That's the way it goes. No chance. But that's not really true. Ruchnis doesn't work that way. There's no such thing as hopeless. All these things are fake and lies. They're just lies made to try to put a person down. But that's what you see. That's what Chazal said the opposite. So there's going to be millions and millions, so many sources, so many countless sources and countless proofs. When you open your eyes a little, you see, it's totally untrue. Totally untrue. We see this so many times in so many different ways of a person turning things around completely, changing things around in the most amazing way. Everything just completely flipping around. You say, how'd you manage this? I said, well, I got this. He connected to the Kodesh Yehudi of himself, who he really is, his real self, and suddenly everything's different. Everything's totally changed. Everything is flipped over. And you don't recognize, the person's not recognizable. Amazing people about tshuva, people change it, the person totally changed. It's an amazing thing. But the person, so what would happen if he would have said, I give up? He would never have gotten, like the Tzim says, I would have been shoemaker, and I go up to Shemayim and say, where's your old Sfarim? And make, he wrote so much when we saw on Shas, and on Mechilta, on Sifra, he wrote Midrashim, difficult, amazing Sfarim. And he would have said, well, I'm a shoemaker, I went to Pismayin Yaakov Shir, my Chayil, no, well, what do you want from me? I don't know anything. Mishnayos, what? Sfarim, what are you showing me this for? What do I do about it? I couldn't write Sfarim, it's not true though. But we all have the chance, we all have the ability to really fix everything. That's what I said. You can always fix everything. It's never too late. It's not too late. The person thinks, it's too late. It's not so. It's not so at all. The story Nachman tells of a certain person was riding. He had a store, and he sold things. So someone came in, he robbed him. took everything away. Okay? So he got everything, whatever, the drags, saved money, put a little more stuff, smaller, a stall now, a little place, again he was robbed. Finally he had enough only to peddle, he's walking around, again he was robbed by some robber holding him up. Didn't know what to do, what now, it's crazy. Took all his things, and the horse fell, he got everything back. That's a person he doesn't want, he's fighting, he doesn't want to be in the hands of the Yetzer Hara, even if he's taking everything, losing everything, he looks like. But it's not true, if you don't want, you'll get what you want. That's the point. The person who's the robber, who represents the other side, took the last little drags that he had nothing left, but then the horse fell and he died.
The person died?
Yeah, the guy on the horse who had robbed him all those times.
Oh.
He died and he got all his stuff back.
The horse came back home.
Yeah, this is not so. There's another story also like that. A person was commissioned to two people commissioned to paint half the palace. One person did an amazing job. Another person just sat around and did nothing. Till it was like a little bit of time, until it was time for the king to come. He wasn't going to do it. He was finished. So he had an idea. He painted the other side of the castle with mirror paint that mirrors what the other guy did. And the king opened it. He liked it also. He liked the guy. Wow, amazing. He said, "Oh, okay, it's also good. Also fine." So sometimes a person that's a tikkun. There's a beginning of a tikkun. It's not so simple. Even though it looks like in a way there's a loss, but it's not really all lost. It's not really all lost. There are things we have no idea. There are cheshbonos which we can't begin to understand. That's what Rav Nosson says. Even what goes over you every day, you can't understand. You don't fathom. So listen, that's an incredible chizuk. You know, the letter says, it's an incredible chizuk. Listen, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going over me. I don't know. I have no idea. We don't know what's, it's like around the corner. That's what Nosson says. Generally speaking, when it sounds like it's time, you feel like you give up, or just hopeless, dejected, and hopeless. He said usually that's right about the time where you have a chance to really turn the corner and get somewhere. So the last chance, the Torah says, no, don't let him go. No, stop. So he just holds on, he goes right around the corner. He's okay, well, everything's okay, different, everything changed, different attitude, different situation, starts moving, going up. And if not, Nebuch, he fell, oh no, too bad. Time to start again. But really, we don't understand what's going on. Hashem, there's Gilgulim, there are Yonim, there are Tikkunim. We don't know what's flying, we don't know what's going on. So we have to do our very best. So again, Rav Nosson says, we have to know that because of this 40 sign, like Rav Nosson said, everything we see, although we're in the dark, perplexed. What's going on? Why is it going on? We have no idea. So for any start, a person should have a test. We all have Bechira. So in a certain way, certainly when a person knows that already should strengthen him. He's okay, I don't know what's flying. So maybe will take care of everything. It's not a problem. I don't know how, I don't know what. I'll just do my best. Start again. Try and do whatever I can. Grab whatever I can. The person feels like he can't change ever, can't do better. That's the end. But Zerak is just on the side lying to him. The negative of himself wants to fly out and free himself. Oh, now I'm free. But he's not really free. It's just slavery, not free. How can you be free if you're not doing what you need to be doing? You can't really be free. It's like somebody, you're building a car, right? A person's building a car and he's missing a few components. He says, oh, I'm free of it already. It's almost done. He's got a few little things with drive and just leave it to rust. Fool. It's all done. Just finish off and get a little gas and go for it. No, forget it. I'll never get there. So what are you talking about? It's almost done. You can get there. You can do it. If they're building something, it's part of a ticket. We're not going to get anywhere. We're not doing a tough kid. Person sits at home, doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any chiyus. Even a kid, even a child, he wants to get out of school, yeah, but if he's out of school too long, he just can't live. He's like, I have no life. Just sitting around and atrophying, another channel, like, what's it going to help you? It's not going to do anything. At a certain point, it's enough. You got to do something. You got to get out. You got to move. You got to make things happen. Yeah, so that's all, it's all fake. It's all lies. The person says, oh, I can't change anyway. May as well, as it were, enjoy life. I don't know, do this, that. What's the difference? Doesn't matter anyway. If you can destroy, you can also fix. Because what makes that something destroys or not destroys? What determines that? Hashem determines that. Every person, some things we can understand, some things we can't even understand. But what we fix or we don't fix, what we break, that's Hashem. It's something that's ruchni. It's not in terms of the physical world. It's not in terms of physical. Physical, you can say, sometimes you give someone a surgery. She says, oh, you killed him. Like, you saved his life. No, you killed him. Right? You can say, You can take anything and change it around. Physically, it's not clear. Well, everything does. You done earlier. What's the difference? A person can have to be, in terms of the spiritual, in terms of what's the content of things, we can say that's good, that's bad. That's why sometimes when you are building, a person has more understanding. And his building can be destroying. So that you build someone up, and the guy needs a little more, I don't know, sometimes such a thing. But you can destroy things, knows what he did, just have to leave things alone. Don't do it the other way. The person needed to be built up and destroyed. It's very not simple to work out what you need to do and how you need to do it. So you have to know that tikkun and kilkul, it's all nonsense, it's all spiritual, all ruchni. So you have to know, okay, if I can break things, that means I have a koch. So I have a koch to fix things. Why should I only be able to break things, not fix them? It doesn't make any sense. Every person has a certain strength, character, positive character, strength. So that part of him can do good or can do bad. That's the way it is. He can use it for good, he can use it for bad. This is the way every person is. So I can use it for both things. So obviously I have a way, I have a chance to rectify, I have a chance to break. Rav Nachman says even simpler, even stronger. Rav Nosson explains also, he said if you believe you can destroy, you believe you can fix. He said because the minute a person has a munah, he has to know that Hashem put me here and I'm still alive and there's a reason why. And have a loving God. It's not like, he doesn't, I'm still living and sometimes things seem harder, sometimes things seem easier, but there's a lot of good I'm going through, a lot of good I'm getting, a lot of good, every breath. It's not like as though we have a contract. Sometimes we feel like we have a contract, but things don't work out. President Chashon gets an accident in his car, I don't know, something happens. He said, I have a contract. I'm like, what is this? It's ridiculous. It's not this. But he doesn't have a contract, that's the problem. He doesn't have a contract, he has a car, he has a life even. Every second it's just thanks to Hashem. There's nothing to do with us. We have no contract, we have no way of knowing anything, we have no rights. So what's we have to appreciate all the blessings that we have. So I have to know, I can break, but I can also fix. Well, hated massive. I can become better also. Change things. Do complete tshuva. I can fix everything. Everything's fixable. The Rabba. To the contrary, Chazal tell us a cloud. Which people, the minute they learn, you might forget it immediately. Because it's very dangerous thing to her, so they right away forget about it. It says, Mida Teva Meruba. What does that mean? Mida Teva Meruba. That means if you think that doing bad is really bad, if you put the same effort for good, it's much better. It's doing much more, it's 500 times more, it's much better. It's much greater. Every little bit of good compared to bad. So I just have to do good and I can get much further than the foolish things I did. We have to strengthen ourselves and trust in Hashem and His great mercy and His kindnesses. That's what the Medrash says. Rav Machom the Rosh Hashem Chesovenu. The Medrash says that this is what we talked about a minute ago, right? Rav Machom the Rosh. There's a lot of pain for who? For the Rosh. So what does it mean when it says the minute later, Vavatech Hashem Chesovenu? Who are we speaking about? Presumably the same guy. We could have said Ve'atzadik Vavatech Hashem. It says Vavatech Hashem. Even a Rosh, whoever he is, if you're hoping to Hashem, you're trusting Hashem, you will be surrounded with kindness. And that's this idea of a person, you can always, that's exactly what Hamas is saying. You have to, in the end, a person, if it's only supposed to be talking, looking to Hashem, starting to live with Hashem, starting to the reality of Hashem in our life. Peter Beis Hamikdash basically be built for us in a personal Beis Hamikdash, and the general, also Beis Hamikdash for the Jewish people, the rule for the Jewish people. Moshe, like we were promised through many Rebbeim and Tzaddikim, Hashem should be zocher to really believe in the koach that we have and do tshuva and be masakin and look to Hashem. Amen.